Hi everyone, welcome into the presentation of changes of Clarity Communication Client in CCC 3.10 Update 3. So, although this update doesn't bring anything major to Clarity Communication Client, still there are some tiny things which have to be mentioned. Here we go. First of all, again about setup. Here we have a Clarity client, Clarity Communication Client version 3.10.84, and we have some SNOM phone in backup. So, begin. As you can see, the very first thing you can admit here is changing of this name. Previously there was something like Clarity Communication Client that it looked really awkward. I can show you how it was looking in previous version. It's exactly like that. So Clarity sorry, no. So you see it like that, right? And that's the thing. This thing which was confusing customers. So we decided to simplify this label, and from now on we are using this just Clarity client, which must be fine. Which must fit everything. Yeah, okay. That's the test one thing. Upcoming Jabra integration, which will not be included into update 3.10, but still it is present in development version of client I'm demonstrating to you. So the first change, it is just a cosmetics. The first change which is not cosmetics is moving of user settings from file client settings XML stored locally on the machine where a client is towards database. The more information can be found in this article, which parameters were moved and so on, which details does it have, and so on. But in general, the purpose of this transfer of settings was that at big setups it is quite simpler to configure everything just in database with one click or with few clicks, rather than spreading and distributing some XML files to each and every workstation. So such settings as use voice to email, then some selection of auto update mode, the flag whether client must be started along with Windows, some settings about auto break status, and also this session lock, session unlock, when how it does affect client. Everything, all things like this are moved now to database, so that a system administrator or PS engineers could configure it from the single place. This of course influenced our interface too, since before you log in you cannot see these settings, since you're not connected to any kind of BIBX server, to any kind of database, and so you don't have access to these settings right from here. So if you open it here, you cannot see in advanced. You can see only things which are remaining configured locally. But if you log in, if we log in, just a couple of seconds, then we are going to see it again. And advanced use, you can select all things like I mentioned, like this option, this options, this option, and so on and so on, as well as this option. Okay. Let's go straight to the next topic. Again, it's about login and startup and so on and so on. This time it's about Outlook add-in. Even in previous version, which was accelerated a lot, we still are getting this the messages like this. It's in Ukrainian language, but I think you can understand it. It's like Outlook add-in is just not that fast, too slow to start up, so that Outlook recommends to disable it. This message is annoying, and it means that the startup of add-in takes longer than 1.5 seconds in average. Currently we reduced this startup time again, so that it takes, as you can see, just about half a second at maximum. We reduced the startup procedure even more than that, so that this message and these problems should not appear anymore at your setup. Hypix. Go to the topic number 3, which again you cannot see, but you can feel it. As you probably mentioned, I have logged in a communication client using internal soft phone. Previously, internal soft phone lines were not encrypted, so if they are assigned somewhere to some user like this, everyone potential hacker or guy with not good behavior could just log in using this account name without password and use this line improperly. From now on, this is not the case anymore, since these lines for internal soft phones are password protected. These passwords are generated by PBX. They generated dynamically, and the only one who knows the password is Clarity Communication Client. So users do not know passwords, administrators do not know passwords, only Clarity Communication Client gets this new password from PBX, and everything is secure, so only Communication Client can use the SIP line for making calls. Well, about changes in interface influenced by bigger changes. The major thing you can see is you don't see anymore the trunk line selection or trunk prefix selection, more precisely. This one was removed, as support for trunk prefixes was removed in turn. Instead of this popping up bar, currently only call options migrated to this position, so you can still select whether you have business call, private call, maybe set up some number suppression and so on according to your rights, but you do not see this outbound trunk prefix. Also, this outbound trunk prefix is not seen anymore in history and other things where it was present previously. Just be aware of it. Yeah, this trunk prefix is substituted, is completely replaced by outbound routing rules. So yeah, just everyone go use outbound routing rules. That's the advice. Also regarding usability and changes, the next one is a chat. So there was a slight facelifting, I would say. Now when you're selecting the chat, you see definitely more space for text, so that before it was not like that. The much of place was eaten by these headers and so on. Now it's not the case anymore, so you can see that your own messages are even not subscribed. So you can see if if you have this blue background, then it's your message. If you see this gray background, it's a message of counterparty, which is now a common thing for chat systems. Also, you do not see that immediately this panel, which also reduce in size of text field. So you can invoke it, you can see it, but only manually. We decided that not that many users actually use this panel for chatting, so we removed it. Also, for long chat messages, there was a chat threads. There was a fix that if you have a long one, then previously you were seeing the very top of conversation. Now you see the very bottom, so the latest messages, which is logical. And what else? Okay, you can now do it like this, so you can copy messages without selecting them, so you can just copy and see, and again and again and again, and so on. So slight, but still slight changes, but still points to mention. Okay. Let's go next to the small fix regarding password policy. So as everyone knows, there is an opportunity to change your password in Clarity Communication Client. So for instance, you can set it blank like this. Okay, now we have a blank password. But you also can select it like this, something like, yeah, okay, again, everything's fine. This is all possible since current settings do not have any restrictions of password policy. But if we, for example, enforce low password policy, this would already mean that blank passwords are not allowed. So you can see, okay, the password is invalid. What the hell? Why the password is invalid? You can all see it in the log file. So you can just open log file if you're PS engineer or if your customer asks you for that, and you see this empty new password for low policy, which exactly shows you which policy is applied and which shows you what is the problem. Yeah. So but still you can select it like this. So some low password, some low policy, low restrictions on the policy are applied, which is fine. Okay, revert it back. Same thing is for our strong password policy. So if you select it strong, then this 2-digit passwords would not be applied anymore, and so on and so on and so on. Okay, revert it back. Just do not break the setup used by our testers. Okay, let's go to other small change regarding calling on behalf of some service or hotline. Previously, you all must know this drop-down box. Previously, it was containing just numbers you could use as your calling number. Now you can also see the name of those services. It is crucial for customers who do not care about numbers. They care about names of hotlines, for example, for hotline agents serving multiple hotlines. It is crucial so that they see that if they are selling cars, or I don't know, or nuclear stations, so that you select cars or nuclear stations, not something like 1005 or 353, which have no name. Also, one small change in this concern is that previously you had to be subscribed to hotlines, so that this option must be selected in order that you could select this hotline in this drop-down box. It is not that logical, since you maybe not subscribe to this hotline right now at this moment, but still you can have a need to dial outbound on behalf of this hotline and not receive calls from this hotline, so that if you uncheck this, then nothing changes. This hotline is still in the list. That's the small change, but still it's kind of important. And now we are going to maybe the last change I would like to describe is a modification of default policy of taking over calls. Previously, if you, for example, have some call, like conference, join conference, you probably did not admit it, but I just joined this conference in one click without accepting any calls and pressing any buttons like OK1 or so. It is also due to changes in PBX. So you're having a conference call, for instance, and then someone calls you to your extension number. So you see this second call. Previously, it was not possible to take it over because you had an ongoing call. Now it is possible, so that you could take over, put your conference call on hold, and then talk with the guy or the girl or whoever who called you. And when you're finished, then you're going back to the conference. And now this policy of putting your active call on hold and taking over the call you selected is now made a default. Previously it was not default. It was not possible to make it like this. I hope that you enjoyed this short video, and make some use from it. And thanks for watching, and have a nice day. Take care and goodbye.